It's 11 p.m. on a Sunday, and I haven't done anything really productive yet, so I think why I am doing this video is because I want to feel like I'm actually doing something, or because I just want to yap about my comic. Who knows? I just really feel like doing a video and I didn't really have any better idea. Also, I think I just want to document it for myself, how I feel right now. If you just clicked on this video, you probably don't know anything about my comic, so first I will introduce you what is it about. I will also try to explain what mistakes I have made and maybe why I wouldn't change anything if I could go back. And hopefully we can all learn from them. First, let me read the synopsis I wrote for the first volume. Lloyd, an eccentric criminal dealing in forbidden magic, has spent the last 3 years hiding in a quiet town. His only companion is a girl who isn't quite what she seems. Something about her feels just a little too unnatural. Their quiet life shatters when they encounter Lloyd's long-lost brother, thought dead for years. From that moment, their journey into past left buried begins. I am quite proud of this synopsis. I think it's not what best describes the whole story, but it's something that starts the story, if you know what I mean. Because it's a quiet, slow-paced story, I wanted to set the expectations of the first volume kinda low, while also hinting at the bigger picture with the past the boys are going to be looking for the rest of the story. And I think we arrived at our first mistake, or my first mistake, which is this is quite a long story. It's actually, I can't even predict how many chapters, episodes, or volumes it's going to take to finish. So my first advice for you would be, if you start your first comic, maybe choose a short story. A short story helps you gather your thoughts, maybe work out your process, how the production itself works, from preparing maybe a script, then a storyboard, and then progressing through with every step. Starting a short story is also less commitment. I see a lot of creators who start their comic they like the idea, this is their best work ever, but it's just too long and they give up halfway through, or not even halfway. Sometimes they just start, they feel like, oh, my skills are not good enough, I will start over again and again and again. And trust me, I know, I've been there, but it's not worth it. Now you might be asking, but Fatime, your comic is very long and you still started it as like your first ever comic. And yeah, kinda, yes and no at the same time, because I have started many comics before, short ones even. But in my case, I came to realize that I just want to do this story for myself. And with this, I think we arrived at my second advice, is that don't do the comic for people, or I mean, don't do it because you want to be famous or you want to have a lot of readers, because you probably won't, and it's not depending on your skill level or how good the comic is. If you just start to scroll through Tapas or Webtoon or whatever your webcomic site choice is, you can see thousands and thousands of comics. It's hard to stand out. So my point is, I started my very long comic because it was bothering me a lot. I started writing the story, I think, when I was like 14 or something, and ever since then I have been writing this story. I have been dreaming with it, I have been getting up with it. It just stuck on my mind and it was evolving like every year. I was just writing more and starting over and designing the characters. So I'm doing this long story because I enjoy it. Third mistake and third advice: maybe try to choose a genre. Because if you asked me what reminiscence is, I think it's a well, It's hard to pick one or even two genres I think my comic fits in, but maybe let's stick with dark fantasy drama, a little bit of thriller. But most sites don't really let you pick out these like niche genres, you just have to find like fantasy or something. Let's continue with the art style. When you try to figure out how to do your comic, this is might be the most important thing you have to plan ahead. And it's not just what style you want, like if you want to lean towards more manga or more western comic. No, it's more like the attention to detail. Because when I first started my comic, I was really like painting these panels. I was working for hours on one single panel, and as time goes on, you can see just how I gave up on like the very like small details. I'm also not very strong at rendering panels. I don't really like to work with colors, and maybe sometimes it shows, I don't know. Now I am just trying to like finish this first volume as it is, and then maybe just a little bit work on the style when I start the second volume. I mean, I already started the second volume, but the production is more like in the storyboard phase as of now. And so from this comes the fifth advice, I think. I don't know, I've lost count because it's not really a scripted video, if you can tell. Is that work ahead. Have buffer episodes, or even before you post anything, just try to plan out the whole story. You don't have to draw the whole story, but just like write it down as a script. Then depending on the length, you should do a storyboard. If it's like a 5-chapter comic or something, I would advise you to make the whole storyboard ahead of time. Maybe have like 3 chapters ready to go before you even post anything about your comic. It's not just good because you will have like things to upload when you don't have time to work on your comic. It's good because you can see how your art style degrades over time, I think. Because when you're starting out, you're so full of energy and you want to do this really cool, detailed artwork and everything, and then you realize that you can't really keep up and you find like details that is so hard to draw, or like maybe you have action scenes and there are poses that are not that good. And if you work ahead, you can find these weak spots basically, and maybe you can figure out how to fix them. Then a really specific advice that I've learned quite recently actually is the lettering. Like, one thing is how you choose the font that you use in your comic. Usually I would advise something that is like seems handwritten but easily readable, like this classic comic fonts, not Comic Sans of course. But I am also talking about like these sounds when you write boom and whatnot. I don't want to pronounce the word because I can't. This really specific expression for sound mimicking. Learning how to do this lettering well can really elevate the quality of your comic. And then, last but not least, don't compare yourself to others. I know it's very easy to say. I also make this mistake all the time, like scrolling Instagram and seeing these amazing artists and thinking, oh my god, my art sucks. First of all, I think a lot of artists you look up to also think the same way, like, oh my god, my art is so bad and everyone else is so much better than me. Your art will also improve over time if you keep drawing, even if you don't really notice the changes. Also, don't compare the numbers. I have this really bad habit. If I post anything anywhere, I will check like for the next 2 days. I will like refresh the pages and look at the views and if anyone commented or whatever. I understand, but just don't do it, or try not to do it as much, maybe. So yeah, I think that's basically all I wanted to talk about. This is like the first video I don't really have a script for, it's just like 10 minutes of my rambling. But I hope there was at least one advice you can, I don't know, accept or think about, then it was all worth it, I guess. And I finally had an excuse to talk about my comic on my channel. So if you like this video, maybe subscribe and let me know if you like more scripted stuff or this rambling is just fine. I don't know. I will probably upload something soon. I am not entirely sure. So yeah, bye.